Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. Thanks for joining me today. Let's talk about the various aspects and categories within plant food, or parts of the plants that are edible, if you will. And as you can see here are some of the examples. There's about 9 categories actually overall. We'll try to touch base on all of those today. So the first one I like to talk about would be roots. Now, roots would also include bulbs. They go hand in hand, underground, if you will, so they're kind of in the same category. There definitely can be vegetables that are roots, like this beetroot, radish, carrot, or turnip. There's a lot of different nutritional values with these root products. Typically, roots and bulbs have the most dense nutrient value of any other part of a plant. And so they definitely can be eaten raw, at least some of them. Others you definitely would want to maybe boil or cook or maybe just steam. The next category would be shoots. And where I live, some plants really have very tender shoots in the spring and early summer. So it's just kind of good to know in your area what plants are harvesting what kind of shoots. I like to sometimes do a very light boil. You don't want to overcook any of your plants or any plant material because it can really destroy the vitamin content. Vitamins break down with heat. And the next thing is stems. As you can see, you can basically eat a lot of stems raw. Sometimes they're a little bit tough, and you definitely want to probably boil them or steam them. And just like leaves, for the most part, if you can eat your leaves in the raw form, you get the most out of them in terms of nutrients. But if you want to soften them up or put them into another dish, definitely there's nothing wrong with putting them in there and steaming them or a very light, quick boil just to break them up. And that goes hand in hands with flowers. Flowers and leaves kind of are in the same category, in my opinion. A lot of edible flowers out there with lots of different, taste depending on your palate. The next is nuts. And you don't need me to tell you that they're a powerhouse of energy. You got amino acids that help you, develop and create a complete protein. Got some carbohydrates in there and good fatty acids. So you definitely, there's a reason why animals eat a lot of nuts, especially before winter. And the same thing for seeds and grains, which is the next category. These are awesome. I'm not big on the whole gluten thing by any means, so I avoided gluten, so I don't do those types of grains. But I think that everything else is pretty solid. It gives you a lot of energy. There's a lot of nutrients that are packed in these little guys. And I like to also sprout seeds. If you don't want to just eat them raw or use them in baking or grind them up after you dry them, then you could sprout them. There's a lot of good nutrients that come from that. Fruits. Now, fruits are awesome too. Has lots of natural energy. Even though it has sugar, the natural sugar is balanced out with fiber, so it helps to slow the absorption of the sugar, so your blood sugar doesn't spike. Lots of vitamins, definitely in these, and trace amounts of minerals. Fruit can give you energy and get you on your feet if you're feeling a little sluggish. And bark is another category. The inner bark has a lot lower levels of tannin, and it's edible. A lot of different cultures eat bark on a regular basis. You definitely want to know about what trees are better than others for this. You definitely don't want to eat the outer bark. Definitely is very it's a very bad taste. You have to really soak it for a long time to get anything out of it. The next category is fungi. Most people think of mushrooms. That's pretty much the main category of fungi. And there's a lot of poisonous ones out there, but more so, there's more non-poisonous than poisonous mushrooms. So make sure to identify which ones are safe and which ones are not. In the prepping survival community, they always say if you don't know what you're looking at, don't eat it. And the next category is seaweed, and that would include things like various kelps, like bull kelp. And this has a lot of iodine, has lots of bulk, in terms of like fiber, and of course various nutrients like minerals and some vitamins. And so that's awesome. This could definitely get you through in tough times. And so that's the wrap up there. If you haven't checked out my ebook, The Art of Prepping and Preparedness Review, feel free to check it out in the description box link below. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you all real soon.